Six. My name is Louis Grasso, and I'm the director of the Media Studies program here at Mercy College, and welcome to the 29th Annual Quill Awards. Now, the program is really 30 years old, but we skipped a year some 10 years back. So next year, we're really going to have a major event where we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Quill Awards. Each year at the Quill Awards, we celebrate accomplishments of students, program alums, and professionals in the field. We have many people in the audience we'd like to acknowledge real quick. Before we start, though, I have one person particularly, Honorable Wilson Ferrero, is a City of Yonkers official city council member. Where's Wilson Ferrero? There he goes. Mr. Ferrero is also a Mercy College alum. So let's, yeah. The Media Studies program offers a Bachelor of Science degree in 3 program concentrations: film studies, radio and television production, and print journalism. The program is organized within the School of Liberal Arts, and we're very grateful for the support given to us by the School of Liberal Arts. And I'd like to acknowledge right here we have with us the Dean of the School of Liberal Arts, Dr. Miriam Goebel. If you want to say a few words, if not, please be Dr. Miriam Goebel.
Thank you all. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Because this is really an extraordinary event. I wouldn't miss this for the world. This is the 29th Annual Quill Awards. I mean, what a remarkable record that is. And I also want to acknowledge the Media Studies program, which is outstanding, and the world's best impresario. And that's a problem.
Thank you, Mary. Mary Calvi graduated magna cum laude from the Samuel Irving Newhouse School of Journalism, Syracuse University. But that is not where her passion for media originated. As early as grammar school, Mary was involved with school newspapers, entering speech programs to give speeches, and contributed to school-wide video projects. While in college, Mary continued to explore avenues in media, and being surrounded by others with similar interests solidified her inspiration to continue to pursue her passion. Any free time, she says, was spent getting involved. And if you want to succeed, you need to remain focused on what you want. Her skills were eventually noticed by someone visiting the college, and asked her to try out as a freelance radio reporter. She did a few stories a month for about $20 a story, right? But this led to another job at the station, where she worked by herself during the overnight shift for a mere $14,000 or $15,000, right? But this affirmation propelled her to her next job, or the next phase of her career, as a reporter for News 12 Long Island, and then News 12 Westchester. And since 2002, WCBS TV News as an early morning and noon anchor, a job which requires her to wake up each morning at least 3 a.m. And so while she still has some energy left this evening, let me present the Quill Award for Professional Achievement to Mary Calvi.
Thank you so much. This is so nice to get from Mercy College. It's really lovely. I mean, I'm from Yonkers. I grew up in Yonkers, so it wasn't really far for me to get over here. So thank you very much. You know, and it's such a pleasure to meet you and to meet all of you. For all of the students who are here, I wish you the very best. You're at a wonderful program filled with wonderful professionals who really can propel you to the next step. And what I can say to you is this, is if you stick with what you love and really go after your goal, you certainly will reach it. Sometimes it'll be difficult, sometimes you may need to work overnights, and sometimes you may work for very little money. But after 20 years plus now in the business, I can tell you this, those who do continue to seek what they are after will get there. I wish you the very best in your endeavors. I'll be here for a little while. If anyone has any questions, you could certainly ask me. The one thing I did want to say is that you should really help each other. It's a small world in the television industry, and right now You are with students who have the same goals as you do. You know, when you're in the industry, you think you're in competition with the person right next to you, but truly you're in competition with the world. So what you need to do is help each other to get to the next step. And I wish you the very best with that, and say to you and salute you for choosing a wonderful program to start your career in. So all the best to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. Joseph Franzi graduated from Mercy College's Media Studies program back in 2000. While a student, Joe was very energetic and brought a very positive, can-do attitude to the classroom. I remember Joseph being very generous with his time, as he often helped other students to complete their projects as well. Shortly after interning at WABC TV, Joseph started freelancing at WABC TV News, and then worked his way to becoming an associate producer for the Fox Files television program on the Fox television network. Since then, Joseph has worked on numerous high-profile projects involving several broadcast companies, and just recently, Joseph was hired as an industry expert, creating technology-based solutions and content file sharing workflows. But here to tell you more about his experiences, a Quill Award recipient from years ago, this year's outstanding alumnus in the Media Studies program, Joseph Franze.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me. It really does. Just going to take a few minutes. I know I only have 5, but I'm taking 10. First, I just want to acknowledge Mary Calvi for her Emmys, 6 Emmys. That is a huge achievement. Just this. Emmys are big in our industry, no matter what you're doing, from engineering to a writer to a reporter to producing. There's an Emmy for every category, and hopefully one day I'd like to see a Mercy College student get an Emmy as well. With that, I want to just give you a little inspiration, I hope. You know, I was born in the Bronx, 241st Street, and growing up, you almost felt like you were limited to what you could do. I mean, I dreamt about sharing a podium here with Mary Calvi. I dreamt about getting awards, like the Quill Award, and the career I have today. But it was more about dreaming, it's about acting. I'll tell you 2 quick stories. As a student here at Mercy College, I remember walking into the studio, having an awesome class, and felt like I was on top of the world. I walked down, saw an internship fair at ABC, and I knew that was my ticket. I went to the internship fair, signed up for sports, the soaps department, and the news. A week later, I called each of those departments to see if they accepted my offer as an intern. Sports and soaps advised me that they gave the offer to someone else. So that was okay. I always had news, and that's really where my heart was. I called news, left a voicemail. I called again 3 times that week. Finally, Anne-Marie answers the phone, my contact there. She tells me that, Joe, sorry, we've given the position to someone else. You could check back later on if, in case anything has changed, we'll let you know. I called back the second week, left 2 voicemails that week, and called the third week, left another voicemail. Anne-Marie picks up the phone the third week, and I asked again, hey, did anything change? And she advised, Joe, we gave it to someone, pretty sure they're going to take it. You're 4th on the list, just to let you know. I said, thank you. I didn't give up. I kept thinking about working with Peter Jennings or doing something with Bill Butel, legends in the news. And I just kept envisioning myself there, just picturing myself at ABC. I was already there. I was at the fair. I called 2 more times, week 4, and got voicemails. Then I get a call. And I was right here at Mercy College, walked into my car. It's Anne-Marie. Hi, Joe. I just want to let you know that the offers that we put out for the internship were passed. You're the next person on the list. Do you want the internship? I thought for a second. I said, sure, as if I had an option, right? That's what basically started my career. An internship at ABC and working for Eyewitness News and the creative service department, I learned to network. I learned to be myself, sell myself, make friends, and learn. Really dive into script writing. And let me tell you, I butchered it. But there were people there to help. And you know, you fail, you make mistakes, you learn, and you just learn from those mistakes. The internship went so well. You know, I didn't work with Peter Jennings or Bill Butel, but I actually shared elevators and delivered mail to a lot of those anchors. I was in class, went back to class, and it was about senior year, and you know, Professor Lou Grasso was in the middle of the class, and he just finished kicking someone out for disturbing the class, coming in late. My phone rings, of course, my phone's got to ring right after he does that. And he looks at me and says, come on. I looked at the phone and it's ABC, a 456 number. I immediately told him, listen, I'll kick myself out. I walked out of the class, took the call. It was a job offer. The job offer was to operate the head robotics camera for the Eyewitness News, morning, 5:30, the Regis live show, national live show, and the Eyewitness News at noon. I was barely 20 and had such a huge responsibility and a full-time job while still a Mercy College student. I now worked with Bill Butel, Sam Champion, and a lot of the high-end anchors that are on Good Morning America today. I was able to work with Regis, and we would talk between cameras, between commercial breaks, and he'll call me into his office, you know, and it was great. I was never struck by celebrities. They were like friends, and I networked with that friends, you know, just like Mary said, help each other's out, network now, start now, and work through the careers together. It's a small industry. The point here is, I never gave up in my dream. I wanted to do something and I did it. Even when it was not looking good, I kept calling. I was determined. And I expect the same for you students here at Mercy. Keep after your dreams, no matter what, no matter how hard it is. Keep focused, and you will achieve what you're looking for. Recently, in 15 years in this industry, this past 7 years, I used all my producer experience on the field, in studio, to really look into technology and where the industry is going, and offering the industry a solution to a workflow file-based solution, so that change wasn't anymore a problem. The industry was constantly throwing money into technology and was constantly changing. And recently, the past 3 years, I've put not only my full-time position, but all my savings, pretty much financially, into a dream that I had. The technology was to integrate game notes, sports, content that needed to be topical to the studios, to the departments that needed it immediately, so that content could be distributed, content could be produced and back on air as soon as it happens. The technology and solution I proposed was given the green light by NFL Films, NFL Network, ABC, CBS, ESPN, and Fox just last week. The company that helped start this technology terminated my contract on Tuesday. I'm still proud because the client stood by me. All the networks, the friends I made, the relationships, they all believed in what I had to offer. And that meant the world to me. The next day, I was offered a position at Eidos, a system integrator, one of the largest in the world, as a broadcast industry expert to lead a project for ABC called Columbus, to basically take a whole operation of a network into the cloud and have it automated so that efficiency outweighs all the labor that goes in today. That was my dream. That is my dream. And today, I can say I fulfilled my dream. And accepting this award is a new chapter in my life. And I thank you, I thank the college, I thank my wife for really sticking by me during these past 3 years. One last thing, this morning, my clients called me, especially CBS Sports particularly, and they heard about my exiting of the company that I've helped develop. 2 of the clients offered me a retainer in addition to the ADOS contract job. Magic moments are happening because I chased my dream. And again, I want to thank you guys for this award, for this moment. But more importantly, love yourself, love your family, be grateful every day. Follow your dreams no matter what. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, even when it's tough, even when you can't get out of bed. Have a mission, have a purpose, and I promise you, you would change the lives of others next to you, and you will conquer your dream. My name is Joseph Franzi. I'm happy to accept this award. Born and raised in the Bronx, New York, and a graduate of Mercy College. Today, I'm considered as the broadcast industry expert for television. Thank you.
Joe's story is yet another story in the chapter of student alums in the Media Studies program. Not to play it down, I mean, you've excelled, I think, beyond a lot of other students have. But last year, we had very successful alums. The year before that. It's what you can do with a very positive attitude and what he's talking about, focus, and what Ms. Calvi is talking about, focus, sticking with your dreams. We're too serious now. Let's get happy. Michael Parada teaches journalism in the Media Studies program. Yeah. The newspaper you're familiar with, the Impact, has received, 7 awards now in the last 4 years. New York State Press Association, New York Scholastic Association. And this is the man behind it. This is the man that helps the students put together this paper. So please welcome Professor Parada to present awards in journalism.
Okay, with the first pick of the NFL draft, Mercy College selects... Oh. Wrong event. I think it's fitting I kind of tell this quick anecdote, and for my students that heard it already, too bad. But on Friday, as my wife and I and our son were watching CBS, I'm nostalgic for Murrow. So we're watching the manhunt take place and kind of hanging on every word. Where's the story going to go? What's going to happen next and whatnot? And I just happened to kind of grab my laptop and go onto Twitter real quick, and I see everyone seems to be retweeting the Boston mayor's quote of, "We got him." And I'm watching CBS, and there's no mention of it. I said, okay, give it a minute. It's social media. You need to let it register. Check it out. 5 minutes go by, no mention. And now I'm baffled. And I turn to my wife and I say, everybody's on Twitter saying they got him. They're not saying anything. And my wife just kind of looks at me and she's like, "Oh, that's just because I paused it during dinner. We're an hour behind." And I said, "Why in the world would you do that?" And she said something along the lines of, "Well, you're in the news business. I thought you wanted to watch the whole thing." And I said, "Yeah, how wonderful." But it just goes to show the type of interactive experience and really complete presentation that the media gives you today. It is not just watching a program on television. It is not just picking up the newspaper and reading it. We're involved. We are on the computer. We are connected through social media. We are doing 3 or 4 different types of communication at the same time to find the same story. We're at a real interesting moment in the media right now. And to tell you, it was really a heck of a week if you worked in the media or if you're studying media to kind of follow. The Boston Marathon bombings really taught us many things, notably the connection and the balancing act between reporters and citizen journalism via social media. It's a process we're still learning. The public has such a demand for immediacy, but they'll quickly be the first to point out when some of the breaking news information that we deliver to them is incorrect. Witnesses turn to Twitter to express their experiences, yet get offended when reporters contact them for interviews. For every promising lead, there were dozens of false ones. For every person that sought out to help a survivor, someone else was using social media for deception. And we're all kind of left kind of saying, what do we make of all this? And for those, some are asking the question, whose responsibility is it to kind of sort out these journalistic ethical issues? And the answer to all of our media studies students in the audience is you. For us practicing professionals, we've kind of fought our battles in our respective generations. Where this technology is of your generation, you're going to be the new blood in the newsroom very soon. And from new blood is going to come new ideas. I'm not offering a request. Instead, I'm kind of informing you of your duty. It's going to be your responsibility to help merge all of these ethical issues that we have between citizen journalism of social media and our standard reporting. Be excited for the challenge, and best of luck. Many of the students commented how impressed they were and how long some of the reporters stayed on air to broadcast. 24 hours, 36 hours, 40 hours. It takes a lot of desire and determination to do so. But don't think for a second that most of them were doing this against their will. These are stories that people want to report. And you have to realize when a story like this occurs, no reporter wants to leave it behind. It's because they understand that it is their duty to guarantee to the audience that they provide the best possible reportage. And who else but themselves can deliver it? And that's kind of why you see those journalists not walking away, not stopping to take a break. They want to see it the whole way through. So, moving on to our first award, which is our Excellence in Journalism Award. We typically give this award to a student who is graduating or near graduation, who has had various accomplishments and achievements in the classroom as well as aside from the classroom. This year's winner kind of had a different path to getting to this award and really getting to this college. He grew up in Detroit in an area where he kind of thought that he had to find a way out of kind of a neighborhood that is kind of unforgiving for mistakes. And 25 years he served proudly this country in the military. And upon release, he kind of said he always wanted to be a writer. And I find that so refreshing that he could have continued his career. He could have continued, he said he was offered other careers, in the business, but he said he just had a passion in him that he wanted to tell stories and he wanted to write. And he walked in without any real formal training of storytelling, but he had that raw ability to know how to use words and to tell a story. And that's really all it takes in the beginning. As long as you have that raw ability and that potential, we can craft you into a great reporter. And over the past 3 years, he's really turned into that. He's been the head of the college newspaper for the past year. He's been one of the best leaders in a newsroom and a classroom I've ever seen. He was able to kind of grab the horns of any situation and make it work. Upon his graduating, I'm losing a great student, I'm losing a great editor, I'm losing a great friend, but I'm happy to know that I'm gaining a colleague in the business that I'm very proud to call one of my students. So to win the Excellence in Journalism Award, which actually comes with a cash prize, so drinks are on Larry afterwards. The winner of this year's Excellence of Journalism Award is Larry Curtis Jr. Thank you. Our next awards are for news reporting. Many believe that news reporting is the most difficult aspect of journalism. While the style of writing is easier, it's very intimidating to interview and ask questions to subjects of high prominence or in a dangerous situation, in an intimidating situation, especially for a young reporter. It's often a self-imposed hindrance by young reporters on taking on difficult assignments. Yet tonight's winners, from their work in the classroom and from their work on the college paper, really set out to challenge those norms and really proved that they're fearless and confident in their abilities. And as long as you have those qualities, you have a real shot of being very successful in this business. They understand at the same time they must report fairly and represent both sides of the issues, and these following winners have really done a great job with that, really throughout their careers. So our first winner is Larry Curtis Jr. Lawrence. Want to split that money? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Larry. Our next winner is Erminia Arante. Hello, darling. Congratulations. Thank you. And our next winner is Maria Perez.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next awards are for feature writing. Feature writing, for those that don't know, is a creative approach to not only inform readers, but to entertain them as well. It takes a special style of writing to draw a reader into the story and make them feel a connection to the subjects in the story. A feature without emotion is not a feature. And afterwards, the reader should be able to take something from the story, whether it be a life lesson or newfound knowledge. The winners of our feature writing award excelled in the classroom as well for writing for the college paper, The English. Our first winner is Rain Savino Tapia. Congratulations. Thank you. Our next winner is Stephanie Gelsey. Stephanie's at the draft right now. Next winner is Michelle Lewis. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh. Now listen, you can't go just because there's not a check in there. I don't know if Crystal Johnson. Also drafted. Don't see John. Aisha Perdomo. Moving on. Next award is for exploratory journalism. Now, this is kind of the category I give to a report. I always give to the reporter who really is able to tackle stories from different approaches and is really manageable, where she's able to write about so many different fields, has such a view of the business, and really just is able to extend herself from just being kind of labeled as a niche writer. This writer has taught me really more about social media than I think I've ever learned from anyone else. And this is from a student kind of teaching me, this is how it works, this is what's working, this is what's trending these days. So, the same way the professors teach you, you're able to teach us, which, makes it for a perfect relationship. So this winner, she writes an excellent technology section, she writes great columns, and she's our online editor that kind of really keeps the Impact News online and our Twitter feeds going and our Facebook page going. So our winner for exploratory journalism is Sasha Maget. Okay, thank you. Speaking of our website, we made a decision 2 years ago as a staff to keep the flow of students coming to the website. We have to give them something fresh every couple days, or that's kind of the downfall of a website. So each staff member was also given the task of creating their own online columns. And these two winners for this category, I think, really make a connection from their columns to the students that read them. They're able to find national issues or local issues and really relate it to the students that read them. And from that, there's been a real positive reaction to them. So, I personally kind of look forward to reading the students' take on the world. So these two students, they run two very successful columns online. And the first is, again, Michelle Lewis. Now this one you can't leave behind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also winning is Molly Stazone. Okay, I think that's it for the evening. Before handing it off, please give Louis Grasso a round of applause. This is his baby. It doesn't get done without him.
Thank you for the kind applause. Up next, moving right along, we have Dr. Richard Medoff, who is the chair of the Humanities Department, also teaches performance classes, will be handing out awards for performance. Is Dr. Medoff here? Or any of your students here?
I didn't teach any of the performance courses this year, so I'm giving this for Professor Johansson, who's not here. Well, Christina Harrison, not here. This goes to a student who I've had in 2 of my classes. The fact that she got him to class on time and to performance on time is incredible. Freedom Weeks, who didn't seem to make it on time tonight. Here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, here we go again. Now, I know Professor Mitchell's students are here. Professor Mitchell teaches public relations, social media, etc. Please welcome Professor Judith Mitchell.
Thank you. What we have in the media studies major is a cycle of 3 courses that focus on public relations: newsletter writing, publicity writing, and the practice of public relations. And what that does is give media studies students an opportunity to explore another door, another way into their career by using the skills that they learn in their other classes and applying it in terms of public relations. So I'm pleased to give awards to, for the course Publicity Writing, which we had last fall, Caitlin Matten.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations. And again, in publicity writing, Nicolette Gebhardt. Congratulations. Okay, now wait a minute. Okay, you have an internship this semester, right?
Yes.
What is it?
The Dr. Oz show.
The Dr. Oz show, okay. Got any secrets?
On,
Dr. Oz?
I don't know. I'm learning a lot.
You're
though.
learning a lot?
Yeah, meeting a lot of people. So,
Was there anything from the publicity writing class that you are drawing on?
I'm understanding publicity more in their department there, which I, like, taking the class, I didn't really know what it was, and so it helped me understand it a lot better. But, and you helped me a lot with my resume. So that, like,
Okay,
Yeah,
great, thank you. This semester, we have the course, The Practice of Public Relations, and the first award goes to Ronnie Hernandez.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, now, you're in the class now, Practice of Public Relations, but you're actually a media studies student, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me, yesterday we had an event, right? We organized the open house for media studies,
Yes,
and you
we did.
played a key role. Tell everybody what you did yesterday.
As the students walked in throughout the media studies department, which is Mayor Hall, I gave them a lecture about the different type of programs available, such as the journalism program, the television production and radio production, as well as the study of film. And I basically just told them about the programs and about some of the classes they can take as non-majors, and if they're interested in taking the field, about what possibilities they can have in terms of making a career out of those studies.
And how did the class, the Practice of Public Relations, did you know what you were getting into when you signed up for it?
Not really. I had some ideas, however, I didn't really expect to be so closely related to my major. In terms of, it really took a lot of skills that I learned in my journalism classes with Parada, and it was applying them. However, it was just applying them in different ways for basically the same audience, but just different perspectives attached to it.
Okay, great. And I didn't prep you for this, did I?
No, you did not.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next award goes to Naja Beaulieu-Haynes. And again, in public relations, Mariela Acevedo. For outdoing PR. And the final goes to Jordana Mazzello. congratulations. Okay. I'm going to put Mary Calvi on the spot for a second. Let me guess, do you have a public relations representative?
Of course,
Of course. What do they do for you?
everything.
Everything. Could you give us a little insight?
Yeah, sure. Basically, you probably haven't spoken to them. I know Lou, you've spoken to them. And basically, they handle all media inquiries, depending, like from a request from Mercy College to a request from a newspaper reporter, what have you. And so, yeah, they'll take all of the questions, they'll speak with us, they'll speak with management, and really bring everybody together and represent the same.
So you really see the two sides, how we work together, right? Hand in hand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mitchell. Up next is Dr. Adam Klein. Dr. Klein is a visiting professor at Mercy College, and he's teaching a whole slew of theoretical courses in communication, in addition to social media. Please welcome Dr. Adam Klein.
This being my first Quill Awards, I brought my own little cheat sheet here. But yes, I am teaching many communication studies courses, and actually one of the standout courses has been on the media studies side this semester, and that's creative advertising. First of all, creative advertising gives me the opportunity to do my two favorite things, which is work with creative students and complain about bad commercials. And my students can attest to that. This is a class where students learn how to write ad copy for television and for radio. Some of them are putting together magazine spreads, as well as one student putting together her own TV commercial using some professional strategies that they're learning along the way. And this semester I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of really excellent students. Two, though, stand out, two that I'd like to recognize tonight. One is a newcomer to the stage. He every week brings his creative ideas to class, and he demonstrates really this professional eye for not just advertising, but media in general, in all our class discussions and all our group projects. His name is Larry Curtis. You may have heard of him here tonight. And I'd like to recognize him for excellence in the class. Larry? No problem. This is the guy to guy. It's a little different. Thanks a lot. Sure thing. The next student actually came to me about 3 weeks ago requesting to be the only student in class that would do a television commercial, which is certainly, I think, a slightly harder road to take with the final project. But she notably has used everything from stop-motion animation to a catchy original jingle that she wrote with her sister to produce a commercial for Oreo cookies, which I believe is someday going to be on television. That's how good it is. And I'd like Amanda Iacopelli to come on up and get the second Quill Award for the night. I didn't put your last name, did I? Okay. Thank you.
I'm back. I can't believe I missed him before with his lively green shirt, but I had one more that I had to hand out. We actually also run a magazine production course in which students are able to study magazines throughout the semester, understand the connection between advertising, who advertises in the magazine, why certain stories are written. At the end of the semester, they concentrate on focusing on developing their own concept. And, throughout the whole way through the course, this student really did a great job of kind of really understanding the psychology of managing a magazine and kind of creating one, and did an excellent job of pitching his own, magazine pitch. So I apologize I missed him before. Ronnie Hernandez.
Okay, Okay, moving right along, we have Professor Augusta McCarthy teaches courses in film studies, and he'll be handing out awards for all the categories in film studies. Please welcome Professor McCarthy.
Thank you. Thank you for your inspiring speeches, Mary and Joe. I am honored to be here presenting these, and as someone mentioned, we do learn from our students as professors. I was fortunate enough to recently be interviewed by one of my students who had an article in the newspaper here, and it reminded me of one of my teachers who really changed my life. I'm actually going to my 25-year high school reunion this year, so I'm unfortunately not going to see him, but I will be seeing the other people at a time in my life where things were really shifting. And this person who did an article recently reminded me of this professor in high school who made us view American history through the lens of his experience. He basically made us understand that American history is our history. It's not something that we can look at and learn from passively. So he made it come alive. And particularly for him, he had been very involved in the Black Civil Rights Movement. He had been a Black Panther. And he told us, you know, if there's something you are not happy with, take some action, because our history is always evolving. Unfortunately, Mr. Rogers, who was a Black Panther actually, is not around anymore, but he would have been amazed to see the change that had come about by people taking action, particularly since we do have an African-American president now, which is, when I was in high school in 1988, graduating, I never would have imagined. So I do want to have a shout out for all of those teachers who have inspired me, and now that I'm a professor, I'm very grateful to be on the other side, finding that inspiration from my students. So thank you so much for that. So I teach film studies classes. One of them is film and culture, where we look at how films are reflections of the culture that we live in and also influence the culture. And I had a student who was particularly insightful in analyzing our culture and looking at how it has been shifting and how that shift has been reflected in the movies that we watch. And so I'm very happy to give him an award, Larry Curtis, Jr.
I just wanted to say something. Professor McCarthy, I felt inspired because, you know, I did an article for him in the Impact about professors that are gay and that are leading the challenge and showing us all the way with his diversity in front of the students in the classroom. Myself, I am gay too, and I felt inspired and proud to be in his class and him being the person that he is. So I wanted to give him applause.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Well, by the way, Mr. Rogers was the one who, when I was in my American history class and he was suggesting our term paper topics, I had never spoken to him about my identity, but he offered, one of the topics was about the development of gay emancipation movements, and I was sitting there like 17 and I was like totally blown away. This was 1987, which was a completely different world in terms of being gay in America. So, you know, it is kind of amazing how that exchange between professors and students can really make a difference in people's lives. The next award is for screenwriting. I'm a screenwriter, and as people were talking about Don't Give Up on Your Dreams, my mentor is an Academy Award winning, or actually Academy Award nominated screenwriter, Janet Roach, who wrote Pritzi's Honor. And I have not had my screenplays produced, so you haven't seen them yet. I've done short films. I've won awards for my screenplays, but they're independent movies. And it's amazing to me in my screenwriting class to see how I have students who actually, I can imagine getting their mainstream commercial movies produced. And I've been trying to do that for 12 years. I haven't given up on it yet. And in fact, my students in my screenwriting class have definitely helped me to get a better understanding of what will appeal to a wider audience. Like I won an award for a script about an 80-year-old woman who was in a love story. And believe it, I mean, for some reason, producers didn't think that people would want to go to see a love story about an 80-year-old woman. But so my students actually today asked me, well, what makes something commercial versus independent? And I said, well, so an 80-year-old woman in a love story, maybe not so commercial, but maybe if she's like got a gun, which I know is like really like sort of an off-color joke given all the things that are happening. But my students really are incredibly talented, some of them, and I'm so happy to be teaching them. And one in particular, I really expect to be seeing this person's name on the big screen, Nicole Newby. This next category is dark genres, which is a compilation of film noir, science fiction, horror, adventure, mystery. So all those genres that actually sell tickets, unlike movies about 80-year-old women in love. The first recipient is Kate Beeman Martinez. My pleasure. I also have had the pleasure of having this student in my classes, so I'm very excited to announce that the next award goes to Danielle Lambert. The next award, also stellar student who I've been honored to have in my class, is Jonathan Gonzalez. I swore I saw Jonathan here. Also, excellent student Edward McKenzie, our cameraman. Thanks so much. Doing double duty. I love it. I didn't realize so many of these students, I didn't choose all of these awards, or most of them I did not. So I'm very happy when I open it and I see, oh, another student that I know, Alexandra Martinez. This next category is the history of world cinema. I taught a class last semester on European cinema, and I was confronted with how difficult it is to learn about cinemas in other parts of the world because the language is so different. Hollywood has come to dominate, so it's very interesting to watch movies that have different styles and express their culture. In particular, there was a movie that I've shown that's a Senegalese movie by the grandfather of African cinema. We've had incredible conversations just about what it means to make a movie in Africa versus here, and to reflect the history and the culture. So I'm very happy to announce the awards for History of World Cinema, also to Jonathan Gonzalez, who's not here. David Carlo, also not here. Thank you so much.
We have two more categories to go. John Masevich, Professor John Masevich, teaches courses in radio production and video editing. He finally made it here from a meeting he was having. He was probably on the air probably 20 minutes ago. Please welcome Professor John Masevich.
Okay, so Lou said go fast. So nothing more pathetic than seeing a fat guy run. You can laugh, it's okay, I know I'm fat. It's not like I just went, oh geez, what happened? Yeah, so I'm going to make this really quick. So get up in the morning, get down to class 8:30, go through two classes of people looking at me like, huh? So it's not just you guys, it's everybody. And then go out of there, go to one job to set up for a meeting tonight, which is happening. Call time is 5 minutes ago, and set up. So I figure we set up because number one guy, stomach surgery. out of action, but just kind of, hanging there for moral support. Number 2 guy is really number 2. So, he's better step it up, or if not, he really stepped in it. So, got to go there, only to find out, can't get into location, so get into location, do the best we can, lock the equipment up, hope we can get set up tonight, and I hope they're doing it now. If not, my cell phone will ring, and I do have to answer it. So, get out of there, run down, go to the next job, get parts, because have to install 3 robotic heads tonight, because got another meeting going on, which is where I came from. Install the robotic heads, meanwhile, outputting master to award show did last week, simultaneously. Install one thing, go back, check it, progressing, no problem, 75% done, great, go do the other head, come back, out of disk space. Clear up some disk space, go back, put in the other camera, start setting up audio, go back, progressing nicely, 75% done, great, go back, come back, out of disk space. Clean it up again. Okay, third time's a charm? Yeah, no. 4th time's a charm, after I dump a bunch of stuff. Okay, so wait, I'm getting to the point. Start next meeting, everything's going good. Number 3 person, who's actually more of a number 1 person in another gender, but she's doing great, left her, no problem, emails me as I'm on the, texts me, which I didn't read until I came to a complete stop safely. And she says that the meeting is over, great, no problem, thank you, Letitia, we're going. Get up here, run across campus, and get here and make this little speech. And after Fat Man Eats Food, then go to other meeting. To get masters, to get ready to put out for tomorrow so that we can be on the air tomorrow, be timely, kind of, sort of, in a way. And then only to have to do this all tomorrow. The moral of the story is, I wanted to work in television. So, with that, I will be giving the Radio Awards. Radio one, just very quickly. Sorry to chew up so much time. Lou's probably going, shut up already and eat. Radio production, teach you all the basic rules of the road. Radio 2, which I will also be giving out, we break the rules of the road. So 1 is learn your basics, 2 is learn what to do with them, with what you have. So, in no particular order, hopefully everybody's here. My first Radio 1 basic person, which really is kind of part of half of a team, did one of the best public service announcements and commercials we ever did. Steve Varley, are you here? Accepting the award for Steve Varley will be John Savage. Next person up is, I can't believe I gave him an award. But no, I'm just kidding you. Quest. Oh, Quest. He was, where is he? Quest! Best laugh man ever. Give me a next person, I'm going to hold for a second because the other half of the Steve team, Abigail. Abby, are you here? Abby Michaels. Abby. We very casually made contact in a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Mutually agreeable way just then. Sensitivity training, okay. And finally, somebody who's just kind of was one of my best students ever, just kind of cut through everything and really excelled at our Radio 1 class, and that would be Catherine Mercado. Radio 2, like I said, is again kind of breaking the rules. And unfortunately about Radio 2 and my editing class, which I'll also be handing out, by the time I have to give Lou the names of people, we really haven't gotten that deeply into the semester. So some of you are going, damn, I'm doing a lot more work. I'll get you next year. Promise. I ain't gonna remember. But I'll remember you. Once again, Abigail Michaels. Okay. Once again, someone who is going to probably prove to be the best traffic and weather person that there ever was. No offense to anyone. Once again, Catherine Mercado. She's not afraid of the helicopters either. She doesn't know that that's part of the final. Just kidding. Seriously. Helicopter. Yeah. Another person who's going to actually have to carry his own afternoon show and hopefully not get us, fined by the FCC. We can't afford them. Jeremy Lopez. Jeremy, you here? Accepting the award for Jeremy Lopez would be Steve Varley. Hope this person's here. Going to turn out to be, I'm sure, an outstanding program director. Katie O'Connor, if you're here. Okay. Without a good traffic director, you just don't really have a good flow to your studio. So, Keisha Carter, are you here? Keisha? Hanging out with Steve and Jeremy. That's okay. Steve Varley would be getting another one for radio, advanced radio. And the best laugh in the biz, Quest, number 2. Video editing is, to just go very quickly, I know I'm running out of time, my story took a little too much time. Video editing, again, we're just teaching you the art of putting two pictures together. It's the basics, and if I can give you the basics, you can do the rest. It'll take you time, but you stick with it, you'll be amazed at what you can do. Know the tools of your trade, and you'll be outstanding. And the first person is Paula Relas. Are you here? Paula? Yeah, they're having a party and they didn't invite me again. Another one of my editors is I don't see, but maybe you're here, Lee Swift. You here? Lee? He is! Lee! Great job for being a drummer, no offense, Lee, but good job. Okay. One half, my editors, I teach them in groups, and they do some group assignments and some separate assignments. So this is another group member, Christy Lupo. Are you here? We're coming to the end. I'm getting to the food as quickly as I can. Just very quickly, another one of our editors, Jordan. Jordan, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name. Conliffe, thank you. Jordan, you here? Hanging out with Steve and the other folks. Somebody who really was one of only 3 editors who did one of the assignments really top notch. I know I'm running out of time here. Alexis Zabata, you here? Alexis, great, Alexis! And, sorry, Alexis. And again, another half of a team, and I hope she's here. Alana Leff, are you here? Okay, so I'll be, around the food somewhere. So.
I feel like I have to tell a joke now. Let's give a round of applause for Professor Musevitz. Okay, we're into our last category, and that means I'm up here. We're doing television production and video documentary. But what I want to say about television production is a general award. It talks about or awards students for their work in the studio, from multi-camera directing, switching, recording, audio mixing, graphic development, all in this live multi-camera process, and that's what television production is about. So without further ado, just let me read these names to you and get the students up here. Edward McKenzie, of course, who's running camera for us. Come on, get a shot. Okay. I'll be good, Nicolette. Nicolette Gebert. Or as I affectionately refer to her as Nicoletti. So I can remember the E at the end of her name when I write it out in my roster book. Alana Leff. And now we're on to the next category in television, which is video documentary. This class comes around once every 2 years, every 4 semesters, and I really wish it came around more often because I really have a lot of fun doing it. I'm being selfish. But not only that, it's the last course in the sequence of television production classes. Students take fundamentals, TV 1, TV 2, TV 3, field production, broadcast journalism, video editing, and then they get to video documentary. And they take all of these skills that they've learned in the past and they roll them into learning styles of video documentary and producing their own documentary. And every time we run this class, we produce a short about 12 minutes long, and we play at the showcase in the fall, which will be in November. See, I'm already promoting the fall showcase, which will be in November. And these are the people that worked on the documentary. Mainly, Sanya Carloni was one of the main producers of this documentary. Sanya. And Matthew Tucker, who did loads of work in editing and camera work. Where's Matthew Tucker? There you go. I'll tell you about the documentary in a second. Again, Edward McKenzie, who's doing a lot of video editing. Here he goes, the cameraman. The documentary is about the process of going from an analog print in the movie house to a digital print. So when you're going to a movie, you're really watching a digital print, no longer film or light shining through film. And some movie houses do that still, shining light through a film paper and projecting onto a screen, while most others are doing a digital print coming off of some sort of digital medium. And we're that's being phased out. And the documentary mainly is about that process. And Sanya Carloni, the producer, the main producer, was a projectionist at one of these independent projection houses, the Pelham Picture House over in Pelham, New York. And she came up with this brilliant idea, and the class just locked onto it. I locked onto it. I said, this is fascinating. We have to do this. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the documentary while I'm handing out the second to the last award. Alexander Martinez for line producing of the video documentary. Look at her. Turn around, smile. And yeah, okay, here we go. And the last line producer again for the video documentary class was Alana Leff. Here she comes back again. The line producing activity reports to the main producer. The line producer goes out on location and gathers the footage needed, for the piece. So the line producer needs to know everything about the documentary, but also be open and aware of what's going to happen or what might happen at this new location. So the line producers are really very important to the whole process. This really brings us to the conclusion of the award portion of the ceremony. I can't thank you all enough. I want to thank the students here at Mercy College for coming up with their families. I want to thank Mary Calvi for being so gracious and coming. I know it's close to your bedtime by now, right? I'm trying. Joseph Franze and his wife for coming and accepting the Alumni Award. The people who put this function together, the professors. Without the professors to participate in a function like this, it really does not happen. Judy Mitchell and John Masevich and I can't even think anymore. Richard Medoff, all these people, Adam Klein. I don't know of a program that does this when they actually get so much participation from the faculty in the program that teach the courses to come together and produce events like this. So I'm really very grateful to them as well. The participants, the family members, the students, the people that set this award ceremony up, the food that we're going to enjoy in a little bit. Manny Santabau, who was very instrumental in helping put this together as well. Manny's sitting over there. Please give him the board. And last but not least, our Dean, Miriam Gogol, who helped put this together as well. Please have a good evening, and I hope to see you, many of you, again next year. Thank you very much, and have a good night.